Salutations, everyone. Shadowforce here, and I am live. Good Lord, I'm live. All right. So I see we got one person in chat. Welcome, person. Welcome. Good to see you. So yeah, today's live stream we're going to be I'm going to be watching some power scaling content, and we are going to be reacting to them. We're going to be talking about them and potentially debunking them if they're bad or explaining why they're good. You know. So today's so I got a couple of videos lined up. First one is going to be could the Z Fighter stop Boros? I've got a couple others. We're going to wait just a tad minute. And let me just quickly restart. So I've got the stream pulled up right next to me, hopefully. Join. Anyways, let's get to watching it, shall we?
The Saiyan Saga, considered a benchmark of power scaling to the point that people debate Raditz
Hopefully
against some of
it's
the most
not
popular
super
fictional
loud.
universe's strongest characters. I did go over what if the Saiyans invaded the One Punch Man.
Okay, so right there, if the Saiyans invaded the One Punch Man... Wait, whoa. Is it not capturing the screen? Okay. Streamlabs... Oh, Streamlabs is messing up. There it is. Okay, there it is. My apologies about that, whoever was here. Streamlabs decided to not capture the video. They instead decided to just not do anything. All right, once again, I apologize. Now then, let's continue. Oh wait, right, I was saying, when it comes to the S-class heroes, if I'm not mistaken, their max scaling is like multi-continental. Hold on, something. Sorry, someone decided to message me. Tis. I'm busy. Let me do my thing. Make sure that's up. Alright, let's continue.
First before, but now we'll go over the reverse of that.
Alright, this is also Professor Fiction. Professor Fiction is the one who is making this. Love him, he's great. Why is my stream doing that? Okay. Well, on Streamlabs again. Let's go.
What if Boros fought the Z Fighters? 20 years ago, Boros was told by his seer he would find...
So when it comes to Boros, depends on when. If we're talking about Saiyan Saga, it depends on if you're taking their higher end interpretations or if you're taking their lower end interpretations. Lower end, most likely not. Higher end, it's possible.
The fight of his life on the planet Earth. On his way, a Namekian gave him some bad directions, and he ended up on the Dragon Ball Earth in the Saiyan Saga.
A Namekian gave him bad, that's crazy. That's wild. My goodness.
And he must confront Earth's defenders. Now, I couldn't tackle this topic alone, so I got Dragon Ball expert Mr. Perfect.
Oh, is that Mr. Perfect Cell? Oh, good lord.
So,
okay.
Yo, what's good? First things first, I would like to thank Professor Fiction for having me on here.
So, real quick, before we sit through the power scaling, I'm going to give a quick prediction on who I think is going to win and who I think should win. In my opinion, I believe the Z Fighters should probably win this, only because of the fact that lower end interpretations have like planetary to large planetary, whereas Boros here probably has, if you're being generous, probably continental to planetary. So, but we will see.
And secondly, I would like to introduce myself. I am Mr. Perfect Cell, but you guys can just call me Cell.
Okay, this is kind of boring. I don't want to sit through this part, so we're just going to get to the scale.
Scaling Boros is a lot more contentious than you might think due to a myriad of contrasting statements and interpretations.
Yeah.
Generally, people scale Boros to either multi-continental, planetary, or star level.
The star level meta just doesn't work, only because of the fact of it being contradicted multiple times.
First is the easiest to digest, as in the manga, Boros claims he will wipe out the Earth's surface, which is multi-continental. If you're a manga purist, this is...
Yes, that is multi-continental. Earth's surface is like pretty deep into multi, so. But yeah, I would just hype it up a little more.
Okay. However, as we'll see, more modern statements call this into question. The second argument that Boros is a planet buster is based on the anime, in which
Mm-hmm.
Boros claims to wipe out the entire planet. But that's anime.
There's also yo, what's up, Dotbat? Welcome to the stream. When it comes to Boros and his planetary statements, there is one in the anime which Boros says he's gonna send the planet to hell, which implies he's gonna at least fragment it. Or like blow it up, you know, probably fragment it. Um, Mike sounds worse than usual. Does it? Hold on, let me fix that. Thank you for letting me know. What mic?
All right. Hopefully, does that sound better? Is that better? Hopefully that sounds better now. What it could yeah. Much better? Okay. So probably what it was the fact that my sometimes the mic on my webcam can get picked up. But yeah, anyways, back to my thought process. What I was saying. When it comes to Boros's planetary arguments, there are two main ones. One, the anime states that he is going to destroy the planet or like send this planet to hell, which you can argue is him implying he's going to destroy the planet. And another one is in the guidebooks, which hopefully they much better. Stream is delayed. All right, yeah. Thank you. But there's also guidebooks that state that he's going to destroy the planet. And I believe there's multiple guidebooks of this. And we also have characters later on who scale below him in like the deep multi-continentals to potentially low planetaries. So it just makes a lot of sense.
A only professor, you're probably saying, freaking nerd. But season 1 of the anime was heavily worked on by One and Murata to the point he supervised all the OVAs and wrote the audio dramas which are confirmed to follow the anime.
Okay.
The anime staff went so far as to not even include Saitama cooking a certain food without one's approval. It's very apparent.
Again, I'm not 100% sure how canon you could use that. Sorry, I thought someone said shush behind me. I would just personally use the argument of there are guidebooks that state that Boros is would have destroyed the planet. You know, that just makes sense.
The anime
So yeah, let's continue.
Is a relevant source, unless you want to be a contrarian, and if one didn't want Boros to be a planet buster, he would have asked the anime staff to change it. Both One Punch Man guidebooks, the Hero Encyclopedia and the Secret Compass, also say Boros is capable of destroying planets. The collapsing star roaring cannon is referred to as a roar of despair to destroy the Earth. And the Compass says his latent energy is enough to blast away entire planets.
Yeah, as you can see, it's just very consistent for Boros to probably be around that planet busting range. If you want a low bomb to multi-continental, that's fine. I personally wouldn't. I personally put him at planetary, but that's just me.
Boros' latent energy is more than likely referring to his power release state, which is called his true power.
Yeah.
Meteoric Burst is not actually a transformation, but more of a power-up or ability that magnifies his energy.
Yeah, but this also shortens his lifespan, so it's a little tricky to use. But he only really scales to planetary in that state. That's the only time he really scales to planetary, unfortunately.
Not increases it. Therefore, Boros is arguably planet level even in his released state. This is backed up by feats from weaker characters such as
really? Wait, whoa. What did he just say?
That Meteoric Burst is more than likely referring to his power release state, which is called his true. Boros' latent energy is more than likely referring to his power release state, which is called his true power. Meteoric Burst is not actually a transformation, but more of a...
Meteoric Burst is Boros' ultimate ability, one that takes his body energy and transforms it into an overwhelming kinetic force. When released, this speed and power goes beyond the physical limits of what can endure. You know, Saitama is sort of clobbered. I guess you could make an argument that release Boros might be planetary. You could make an argument for it. It's a little weird of an argument, but It's not actually bad per se. I could see it.
A power-up or ability that magnifies his energy, not increases it. Therefore, Boros is arguably planet level even in his released state. This is backed up by feats from weaker characters such as Orochi, Psychos Orochi, and Garo, all of which have multi-continental to small planetary feats. Boros outscales this due to Saitama before he even goes bald was unaffected by Tatsumaki.
Wait, whoa. When was this? Well, was this in one of the books? So Thomas, sorry about this, but I'm going to let you. I'm not gonna let you just stay. And wait, what? How come? Hold on. Tatsubasa, probably.
Boros outscales this due to Saitama before he even goes bald was unaffected by Tatsumaki's full power telekinesis, but considered Boros strong and arguably the strongest he's ever fought. Tatsumaki, while arguably holding back, can one-shot Psychos Orochi, who's obviously way stronger than Orochi. I'll get more into why he's stronger than Garo in the speed section, but regardless, the feats in the manga, guides, and anime back up Boros being planet level. You can just say one wanted to retcon Boros being a surface wiper and decided to call him a planet buster in all future material. The last argument for Boros is using the anime compass, which calls the collapsing star roaring cannon formidable enough to destroy a star.
Okay, so the biggest problem with this one from the anime Blu-ray guide, and this is specifically the Blu-ray guide that he's talking about, the problem with arguing that it can obliterate a star is this is never really supported, ever. You know, now there are now you can make the argument that, oh, Saitama later on was shown to be able to like obliterate a galaxy or have a feat that is equivalent to obliterating a galaxy. So you could argue that him being star level here might not necessarily be inconsistent. You can argue that. I don't know if I would personally, only because of the fact that it's kind of difficult to argue because of all the planetary statements that Boros has. It would just be like a kind of difficult to argue. I guess you might be able to do it.
This gets into some translation wars since you can technically translate it to either planet or star.
I believe they use the word Sekai, which is basically celestial body.
I've seen some translators say either one of them. We'll go over it still, but just know it's not very concrete.
Yeah.
It could be translated either way. Speed is also very contentious due to a portion of the fan base that don't think you can scale Boros to other characters.
Boros should scale above all of the S-class heroes, at least at this point. Arguably, potentially even later on, scaling above most of them. Maybe not Blast, but you could definitely scale him above a lot of the different S-class heroes. He should get way into FTL.
Even on his own, Boros wasn't at all scared after Saitama casually reacted to rocks at near the speed of light, and Murata confirming Boros kicked Saitama at the moon at light speed. We can scale Boros to the likes of Flashy Flash, someone who Saitama only considers kinda fast, whereas Boros genuinely surprised him with his speed. While Saitama does get stronger over time, it seems like his frame of reference doesn't change. Despite getting so strong, he makes his past self look insignificant from just a day prior. Saitama was still able to recognize how fast Genos got with his recent upgrades in the manga. Flash has numerous statements of being light speed or faster than light.
Again, there's like a lot of light speed statements in One Punch Man. Also, I don't know if he's going to mention this, but Genos has a light speed feat. He's able to dodge G-Force lasers, and they are stated to be light. So you can make a very good case that he should be light speed. And Awakened Cockroach also stated in the manga that even if you were to use an attack of light speed, then you wouldn't hit him. I think I actually have that. Let me check if I have that real quick. Just, so you guys don't think I am bringing shit out my ass, Hold on, not there. Scaling, manga panels, One Punch Man. Here we go. Is this it? Let me quickly check it. Yeah, this is it. So let me just quickly add this real quick just to show you guys. Media. Add source. Oh, that's not what I meant to add. Big oof. Okay, let's try this again. Image. Let's just do an image. Add new source, just image. Yo, what's up? Tom Supreme. Welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome. Or sister. I don't know what you choose to identify as, but welcome. Anyways, this is the panel I was referring to. Let's just zoom in here. So this is during Genos' battle with Awakened Cockroach. And he basically says, I'll give you a hint, even if you attack at the speed of light, you still won't hit me. My body will react to your killing intent and move out of the way before you even start. Now, some people may call this an aim dodging feat. And even if you want to call it an aim dodging feat, you can still argue relativistic. But it's pretty consistent that Awakened Cockroach and like S-class heroes have like light speed. So yeah, let's continue.
And his battle with the ninja duo, Galewind and Hellfire, was calculated at several times the speed of light, up to 8 times, seeing as Golden S could react to an amped Atomic Samurai. Kamikaze, while barely even trying, can react to a beam of light and chop it in half.
Yeah, that's a very blatant light speed feat based on how close it was. Very blatant light speed feat. So, you know.
At 4.1 times the speed of light. This should easily put Boros in the 1 to 10 times the speed of light range, or somewhat higher, although there is one way to scale him higher. Boros' meteoric burst ability is stated in the anime compass to go beyond the limits of speed and power of any living being. This word choice is a bit above just saying he surpassed his limits, and more so applies holistically to any character who maybe doesn't amplify their abilities with energy or haven't surpassed their limits.
Okay, I have issue with that. I have necessary issue with that. I don't 100% agree with that. That's a little sus. That's a little sus, you know. Hello, love your content, by the way. Who is Boros being compared to? Oh, welcome. Welcome, the Outset Islands. Thank you for the lovely comment. Basically, this is, could the Z Fighters stop Boros? Now, I'm imagining he's using the Saiyan Saga Z Fighters, you know, because that's the only Z Fighters that Boros could really compare to. Any other version, he either stomps with Dragon Ball, unless you want to use like large planetary scaling for Dragon Ball, or he gets absolutely stomped himself by like Namek Saga and above, you know. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I don't necessarily think that that he would necessarily scale above people who haven't surpassed their limits. Necessarily, it's a little weird, because you could argue that Monster Gara might just be above him. Maybe, depends. It depends on how you want to view his gamma burst attack.
This could make Boros faster than the likes of Half Monster Garo, who didn't particularly impress Saitama until his god-level cosmic power-up, and in a much earlier form fought Platinum S, creating a huge geometric structure in the sky. This feat has often been calculated between 4 to 20 times the speed of light. Me and Cell will discuss...
I watched the video. It's Saiyan Saga. Well, welcome, Anime Master. Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Boros' abilities and how they interact with Goku during the breakdown later. So for now, let's just start talking
also,
about...
I want to let everyone know, I'm officially monetized to a degree. So super chats are available if anyone wants to feel so kind. You're not obligated, but just wanted to put that out there.
Z Fighters.
Now let's see where... Now, for those who have been on my channel for a while, you know I am a big Dragon Ball fan. I'm a pretty good Dragon Ball scaler. So I'm very curious to see how Mr. Perfect Cell scales the Saiyan Saga Z Fighters here.
Just like with Boros, there are multiple ends that you could scale Goku and the rest of the Z Fighters.
Right.
That being planetary, large planetary, and star.
Yes.
The planetary interpretation is probably the most obvious of the...
That flashing is crazy.
3, considering Vegeta with his Gala gun is stayed capable of destroying the Earth in both the manga and the anime. This is supported by Daisenshu, along the Legendario, and other various guidelines.
There's actually a way to get this to large planetary very easily. It's very simple. In El Legendario, it states that, for real, I want to learn how to scale Dragon Ball better. I got you, Tom Supreme. Here's a very easy way to scale this Vegeta to potentially large planetary. And maybe even higher, depending on your interpretation. So when it comes to scaling Dragon Ball in El Legendario, there is a statement that is talking about power levels, and it states roughly, if a power level of 10,000 can destroy a planet, God or it's unimaginable what a power level of 1 million can do. I'm paraphrasing, but that's roughly what it says, right? Vegeta's power level here is 18,000. And we know at this point, power levels are incredibly exponential. We know this because Piccolo was at a power level of 3,500, and Nappa was at 4,000, and Nappa was absolutely bulldozing Piccolo. Absolutely just manhandling him. And so a power level difference of 10,000 to 18,000 should be a monumental increase. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, stream's a little delayed, but I am looking at the chat as well. But you could potentially get him to large planetary, and depending on how exponential you believe it is, you could even get him to dwarf star. There are some dwarf star feats if you use the anime. King Vegeta was able to destroy 3 planets with a single hand, with literally a wave of his hand. I believe that's like multi-planetary, if not potentially dwarf star. It's actually really interesting how far the metas have come. I've also seen other metas for like even higher for Saiyan Saga, but I don't frankly I don't believe them myself. Some of them are pretty wild. But let's get back to the video. I hope that's has been helpful, you know?
Also either call the Galagun planet level or just Vegeta in general to be a planet buster.
Also, if you believe Vegeta himself without the Galagun is a planet buster, then the Galagun is just even higher because the Galagun is like multiple times. I don't have anything on me right now, but I do get paid tomorrow. I won't mind becoming a member if that's possible. I'm working on my membership program. I'm working on it. I'm still working on the tiers and rewards of what I want to do with that. But thank you, appreciate it.
Obviously, this is relevant considering that Goku with Kaioken times 2 and 3 can either give Vegeta a decent fight or can just straight up overpower.
I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the chat right now, and Tom Supreme, I don't believe in hyperversal, of course, outer reversal meta. I'm assuming you meant or outer reversal meta. Obviously, the hyperversal and outer reversal meta for Dragon Ball is absolutely absurd. And it's, you know, in my opinion, just dumb. You know, Dragon Ball, even at its highest interpretation, like current Dragon Ball, like you can get it like 4D maybe. Depends on how you want to view things. Infinite 3D is also a thing. Hell, I've even seen people try to scale current Dragon Ball to 5D, and that's like even crazier.
And if you want to go by power levels, the rest of the cache should also somewhat scale to these planet-busting levels of power.
Actually, fun fact. Remember how I mentioned how there were like OG Dragon Ball planetary arguments? There have been calcs for Piccolo destroying the moon. The calcs have put that feat at a large planetary. Like, because he vaporized the moon. Anime Master, I'm a 5D meta guy. Fair enough, you know. 5D is a little suspicious. It's a little dicey depending. I believe you use the fourth Daizenshu, right? The fourth Daizenshu. I use that same scam, but I think it fits 4D a little better.
As Vegeta is stated in Daizenshu to have a power level of 18,000, with the rest of the Z fighters having power levels ranging from 50.
Oh, we got a question. Tom Supreme, you've got a question. What is your question? I will answer it when it's posted. Obviously, you won't hear it for a little bit because of the delay, unfortunately. But yeah, what is your question, my good sir? I am ready for your question. I'll continue the video, but when your question pops up, I'll
1,500 to 3,500. Even if we say Vegeta at his full power can barely destroy the Earth, which has a GBE of 10 to 32 joules, this should mean that the rest of the Z fighters should be capable of producing around 10 to 31 joules or small planet levels.
I see you have a Patreon, so I'll go there as soon as I get paid, but I love the way you go about your scaling. Also, yeah, I agree. 5D60 is shaky. Even Deathball got Roshi, Deathball got Roshi, Moonlight feat the large planetary. Yeah. So basically, and I'll explain why destroying the moon is planetary. I'll explain it very, very easily. It's called vaporization. Vaporizing something is much more impressive than fragmenting it. Because when we talk about moon level, when we talk about planetary, what we're actually referring to is to break apart that planet, to fragment it to such a degree that the planet's gravity cannot put it back together, right? So that's what you mean by planetary. I don't have a scan. OG Dragon Ball, Motion Destroy the Moon, but there is a scan saying it was an illusion, but I can't find the scan anymore. But wouldn't that be the same with Piccolo too? No. No, because in Dragon Ball, Kame actually mentions that he had to restore the moon. Kame actually mentions he had to restore the moon. But Dragon Ball scan of Hiroshi restoring the moon, but there is a scan of it saying it was an illusion. Again, I don't know about that. I would have to find that scan or see it myself. If that scan is out there, I've got some questions. Some very big questions. Only because of the fact that it just seems like it's inconsistent. And the main reason it seems inconsistent is there is a scan of Goku in the 23rd Budokai. I think I might have it somewhere here. But in the 23rd Budokai, the guidebook states that Goku is capable of destroying the moon with a Super Kamehameha, right? So then, if it's in a similar vein to Roshi or in a similar vein to Piccolo, which it should be, then it would probably be large planetary. Thanks for clarifying that. No problem. You know, I like to make sure, I like to try to give as much insight and power scaling as I can. You know, I like to pride myself on power scaling integrity, you know? Where was I? Right. We were talking about the moon shit. But yeah, when it comes to planetary, moon level, what we typically talk about is fragmenting it to the point to where it can no longer maintain its gravitational pull and it separates. And the reason why vaporization is more impressive than that is because you're actually just completely vaporizing the entirety of the planet instead of actually just fragmenting it. You know, so it takes a lot more energy to vaporize something than it does to actually just break it apart. So that's why vaporization is far more impressive. I power scale Sonic and you should go for fun. I mean, you know what? I've got some Sonic power scaling videos, and I was thinking of making some Bleach content, but I don't know a lot about Bleach, so that's the only issue. I'd have to do a lot of research. Anyways.
Of energy, due to them only being around 10 times weaker than Vegeta. Honestly, I don't think anyone really has an issue with saying that people in the Saiyan Saga are planetary.
Yeah.
It's pretty much generally accepted that that's what they were capable of at the time. But with that out of the way, let's get into, in my opinion, is some more reasonable scaling for characters in the Saiyan Saga.
Planetary is not reasonable. There's more reasonable? Okay, so there's higher ends. Let's see what Mr. Perfect Cell has for higher ends.
Piccolo destroying the moon is probably one of the more better known feats in the series.
Didn't I just talk about this?
And for good reason, as Piccolo just seems to casually stick his hand out and vaporize the entire moon.
Yeah, that's also one of the reasons why I don't think this was an illusion, because you actually see the moon like fragment, like completely get vaporized, you know? I also have some Sonic scaling videos too. Oh, well, nice, bro. I respect it. I respect the videos. I respect the hustle.
But why is this relevant? Well, there have been many calcs of this feat, and generally the calculated amount of energy required for Piccolo to destroy the moon in the way he did it comes out to around 10 to the 35 joules of energy, or large planet level.
I think I can actually find this calculation. Hold on. Piccolo. Is this it? Hold on. I think I might have found it. Is this it? Let me check. Yes. Wait, no, this is a small planetary. Is it small planetary? Or is it by, okay, clearly... Hold on. Or is it this one? Are they the same calc? They're the same calc. Okay. So, yeah. Let me see if I can get this on stream. Let me just... Can I... Please? There we go. Alright, I don't know how well you guys can see this. Hopefully it's not terrible. Yeah, Vegeta also does acknowledge that the moon is gone. So, I hope you can see it well. I'll have to wait till it actually comes up on the stream to see how well it looks. Oh. So yeah, I can see it. So right here we've got the calculation. You know, this was done by Emil Lonely Heart. I could have sworn there was someone else. Oh. Was it just? Yeah, it was Amelia Lonely Heart. So this is the calculation. Basically, it goes off of the size of different characters, and then the size of the moon. Oh, I see what. Okay. Yeah, it's basically just showing how they got to their conclusion, time frame, kinetic energy. And yeah, the end up is on a low end planetary, mid end is small planetary. You know, just simple stuff. You know, love to see it. Let's continue.
And Weighted Piccolo did this with a casual, uncharged ki blast.
That is true. Piccolo did this very casually.
At the time he did this, had a power level of 329, making him weaker than even Chaozu and Yajirobe, who had power levels of 610 and 970 respectively.
That's actually really funny to think about. That Chaozu and Yajirobe at this point, you could scale to like planetary, and how they are like Chaozu bulldozes your favorite series. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Meaning that this Piccolo is weaker than every single one of the Z fighters. Yep. Even if you don't want to use this guide, the Z fighters post-training for the Saiyans can defeat Cybermen who have strength on par with Raditz. The same guy.
That's debatable. The reason why is Vegeta says they do. It's either Vegeta or Nappa says they have like a battle power of similar caliber. I think Raditz's was slightly higher. Raditz's power level, every time we see it, is recorded to be 1,500, whereas the Cyberman is 1,200. So that's why it's a little debatable.
Who tanked that same moon-busting attack. And finally, if we dive into the anime, we have one more high-end scale we can use for Z fighters, which stems from a feat shown in the anime.
Here it comes, the star level meta for Dragon Ball, or for Saiyan Saga.
That being Vegeta destroying Aurelia with 2 fingers. Now, this feat has also had many calcs, but it has consistently been calculated around 10 to the 40 joules of energy, which is small star level. And more people scale to this than you may think.
Wait. I thought it was Dwarf Star. Is it small star? Am I tripping? Wow, I thought it was Dwarf Star. Oh, wait, no, it's the King Vegeta feat that's Dwarf Star level. That's my bad.
If we take into account that Vegeta used the same amount of effort to destroy a Cyberman that he did to destroy that planet, since he used 2 fingers to do both, that should mean even someone like Krillin and anyone who scales to him should be small star level.
That's hilarious to think about. You could argue, yeah, that's hilarious to think about. Scaling Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, all of them to small star level, that's funny.
As Krillin thought his scatter shot could damage Vegeta even after witnessing him destroying that Cyberman. And Goku would obviously scale to this, at least with Kaioken, as he's stronger than that.
He should scale to it in base. Base Goku's like 8,000. And at worst, Kaioken. Because Kaioken times 2 gets him up to 16,000.
Now, calculating the Z Fighter's speed is a lot simpler, as it just involves a lot of multiplication. Yeah. Even if you want to lowball, we can use calcs, putting Piccolo's attack to destroy the moon at around 50% the speed of light.
Fun fact, he'll probably mention this later on in the video, but fun fact about this specific one. So also, sorry about all the pausing. You know, this is, I just like to explain things about power scaling. I love power scaling. It's fun. Anyways, when it comes to speed scaling in Dragon Ball, there's actually some consistency for relativistic to potentially FTL in not early Dragon Ball, but like mid to late Dragon Ball, like King Piccolo Saga to the 23rd. I want to make a full video on explaining, like, when are the points where people get to FTL. But okay, I'll briefly explain it here. I think I should still have the scans. I gotta go into my friend DMs with one of my friends, my friend Dotbat. Let me quickly just find the scan I'm looking for. But I'll explain it while I'm looking. Basically, in the anime, not in the anime, in the manga, Goku and Piccolo Jr. or Piccolo were stated to, or I'm sorry, Piccolo in a weakened state was stated to be roughly hundreds of times stronger than all of the Z fighters there, right? And everyone there should be stronger than King Piccolo. We know this because Kami was able to effortlessly flick a post King Piccolo fight Goku. He was able to flick a post King Piccolo fight Goku and effortlessly beat him. Yamcha, the arguably weakest there, was able to push Kami, who was in Hero's body, to actually getting serious. So he should scale, while not necessarily relative to Kami, he should scale above King Piccolo. No. And Piccolo states that even if there are like 100 of you, I would still be able to 100 like you. I would still be able to kill all of you effortlessly, even with God there or Kami. And in the English translations, like in the I don't know if it's this translation, but it states, I am 1,000 times stronger than all of you, right? Now, why is that important? Because Vegeta in the Namek Saga states that if his power increases, his speed will also increase. So if he's like thousands of times faster than them, or stronger than them, he should also be in a similar ballpark faster than them. That's important because we've got relativistic scaling from King Piccolo. Arguably FTL, if you want to use Red Ribbon Saga feats. So based on that line of logic, you could actually scale people even in like late Dragon Ball, in like the 23rd, to massively FTL. And this is consistent as Kami was unable to track the movements of Piccolo Jr. and Goku. I can actually show you all that scan right now. Oh, hold on. Do I have that? I do, but I need to put it in a file. Gosh darn it. Okay. Let's quickly do that. Let's just quickly, not there. Scans, manga panels, Dragon Ball. Just save it to this one. There we go. And the reason I'm taking the time to show y'all is because, while I'm taking time, we've got another question. Yes. Tom Supreme, what is your question, my good person? While I bring up this image. One strength scan kind of be flawed in a way. Elaborate what you mean. Also, the speed of Dragon Ball depends on how seriously you take the Light Speed 20-second tournament feat. I don't think so. Because King Piccolo's I-beams are stated in the guidebooks to be light speed themselves, or beams of light. Why would strength equal to speed be flawed? Because we see when you're stronger than someone in Dragon Ball, you're also faster than them. We see this every time someone gets a power increase, they also get a speed increase. At least when it's not stuff like Piccolo growing in size, because that does decrease his speed a little bit. But we know when Grade 8 Vegeta got bigger, he also got faster as well. Anyways, here's the specific scan I'm talking about. This is from Dragon Ball. This is Goku and Piccolo fighting. And Kami even states, let me zoom in here on Kami. He states, incredible. I'm Earth's god, and even my eyes can't keep up with their movements. Pretty impressive. As I said, that's actually a very good point, but as I said, some transformations just have just decrease your speed. You're right, it did decrease his speed, but that's only because that was the specific flaw of grade 3. You're talking about grade 3. And that was a very specific flaw because they were trying to output too much. I don't actually remember why it decreased their speed, but that was like the form specific flaw. So that's why the speed decrease there can be explained. Anyways, back to this.
And to get the rest of the Z Fighters' speed, we can just divide their power levels by Piccolo's power level at the time when he did this to get a range of 1 to 5 times the speed of light for the Z Fighters and 12 to 48 times the speed of light for
this is all okay. This is all fine. Yeah, the muscle mass. Because it was increasing his muscle mass so much, it was slowing him down. But yeah, again, this is all good.
Who, depending on if he's in base or his various versions of Kaioken. The middle end interpretation would stem from King Piccolo and Kid Goku being around the speed of light due to El Manga.
Yeah, I just mentioned this. Oh, this is awesome. I just mentioned this.
Mario describing Piccolo's energy attacks as light, with Goku reacting and dodging them pretty blatantly.
Yep.
Both of them had power levels around 260 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go by this, the Z Fighters.
I think you can argue younger Piccolo was, or like old man Piccolo was like 190 or 200 or some bullshit. But 260 is like, yeah.
To 12 to 13 times the speed of light, with Goku being upgraded to 30 to 120 times the speed of light.
And this is also not taking into consideration that power levels, especially in Dragon Ball and in early Z, are incredibly exponential. Like a 1.5 difference in power level, or even a 1.1 times difference in power level. So like 1,000 to 1,100 is like a speed blitz difference. Maybe not necessarily a speed blitz difference, but it's like I can effortlessly take you down. You know? It's like a shocking difference, like a really big one.
The high ball for their speed involves Goku in original Dragon Ball dodging Tien's solar flare, which is very obviously a light-based attack, granting him at least light speed combat and reaction speeds. But this feat is very contentious, as you can argue Goku just dodged the solar flare by grabbing Roshi's glasses before Tien launched it, rather than during.
In the anime, it's much more concrete that he actually like the solar flare was already launched when Goku dodged it. In the anime is much more blatant with it, whereas the manga it's a lot more contentious.
But if you do want to take this, Goku was stated in Daizenshu to have a power level of 180 at the time, giving us one final speed range for our characters, that being 3 to 19 times the speed of light for the Z Fighters, and 44 to 177 times the speed of light for Goku.
Yep.
Now that both sides have been scaled, we can go over the actual hypothetical.
So realistically, who should win this fight is probably going to be the Z Fighters. Honestly, and I predicted that because they just have better scaling than Boros.
Boros and his ship show up on Earth, destroying West City in much the same manner they did City A. The Z Fighters, already anticipating the Saiyans, show up in retaliation. To quickly go over them, Boros generals are not at all going to play a factor.
They get absolutely blown off the board.
Charitable interpretations have the general scaling to Boros' starship, seeing as Boros was more impressed that Saitama could beat his generals compared to destroying his ship. Boros' ship at the highest scales to multi-continental for annihilating City A, which is most of a giant landmass. This is still pretty insignificant to even the lower tier Z fighters like Yajirobe, who has a power level higher than a moon-busting Piccolo. If you're a manga purist and
I also find that very hilarious as well, that Yajirobe is just strong in most of them.
Believe Boros is a surface wiper, he would unironically get one shot just the same.
Yeah, like I went over, all the Z fighters far outclass Piccolo's moon-busting feat, and at the lowest are small planet.
Right.
Way above the likes of a multi-continental Boros.
Right.
Speed at that point is pretty much irrelevant since Boros has no hope to ever hurt a single one of them. But if we go with more consistent arguments for Boros and say he is a planet buster, things become more interesting since Goku at his lowest should also be planetary. Their speed.
What I find funny is you have to take like lower end interpretations of Dragon Ball and higher end interpretations of One Punch Man. for this matchup to even be considered.
Also does scale around the same level, with Boros being far faster than Flashy Flash, who's in between 1 to 10 times the speed of light, and Goku is around 12 times the speed of light in base form.
If both Boros and Goku are planet busters and have relative speed to one another, the fight could be very competitive. Goku clearly edges Boros out in combat skill.
Obviously, it's crazy.
I already made an entire video explaining why Goku is better at martial arts than Garo.
Wow, better than at martial arts than Garo this early on? Maybe later on, yeah, but this early on, that's a claim right there.
Who is the best martial artist in One Punch Man?
Goku also boasts an overall better arsenal, including a variety of ki blasts, light, the solar flare, and if you want to include his equipment, he may be carrying his power pole, flying Nimbus, or even a sensu bean or two, which would give Goku pretty much a full recharge after exhausting himself.
And
Boros' only real saving grace is regeneration.
And what a lot of people also don't understand is that Goku still also has Kaioken on top of this, and his Kamehameha is atomization. Yeah, so Anime Master, what that is, and I'll explain exactly what that is. As power levels get bigger and bigger, at a certain point, they become much more linear. So whereas 18,000 to 24,000, I believe his power level was, while that is like a massive increase, as power levels get higher, they start to get more and more linear. And that just is, that's how it seems to be.
And since any damage Goku does can be healed, and if Goku uses the Kaioken, which breaks his body at the expense of greater power, it could benefit Boros.
Kaioken times 2. He just bulldozes him with Kaioken times 2.
And more. Considering El Manga Legendarios as a power level of 10,000 is required to destroy a planet, even Goku at just Kaioken times 2 would outclass Boros with a power level of 16,000. Yeah. At the very least, a Kaioken times 4 could overpower the planetary Vegeta pretty concretely. Even then though, if Goku resorts to times 4, his body will be worse for wear.
If he does like a times 4 Kamehameha and clashes with Boros' collapsing Star Warring cannon, and Boros loses that fight, he's getting atomized because Ki, it attacks you on the atomic level. So that regeneration, that isn't really going to do a whole lot.
Whereas released Boros can regenerate from at least moderate injuries. But Boros' full power, Meteoric Burst, also has a huge strain on his body. And if you read the manga, Meteoric Burst only really lasts for just a few attacks. It's not all that long. Goku could at least keep fighting Uzaru Vegeta for a while after using Kaioken times 4.
Now, despite how it may sound, me and Prof do actually think this fight could go either way. However, Goku just has way more options and combat experience to give him the edge. And the thing is, this is a severely lowballed scale for Goku.
Yeah, that's the big issue. This is like a heavily lowballed Goku.
I guess you could call this a manga-only no-calcs Goku. But if you want to use the anime and the calcs, Goku consistently scales between large planetary and small star level, whereas Boros consistently is only planetary.
I know it sounds weird since Boros and Goku have almost the exact same lore, but the way in which Dragon Ball characters perform their feats is way more impressive. We know Boros can destroy planets, but when you really break it down, what does that mean? Can he shatter the planet into giant chunks of space debris? Can he vaporize the planet into non-existence? Well, we don't know.
Yeah, all we know is it's just planetary. We don't know like what kind of planetary, or if it's like higher.
So all we could say about Boros is he is planet level. But on the Dragon Ball side of things, we see just how violently and intense these planet bodies are destroyed. Yeah, that's the King
Vegeta feat I mentioned, by the way.
Here's a better way of putting this. Let's say we have two characters, right? The first guy chops the building in half with his absolute full power, and he's huffing and puffing afterwards. The second guy looks at the building, and his mere stare alone is enough to instantly vaporize the building to the point there's not a single piece left.
Yeah, that do happen. That do happen. That really do happen.
You wouldn't say these characters are equal because they destroyed a building, would you?
No.
And like Prof said, it's even worse for Boros since we really don't know how Boros would destroy a planet.
Regarding star level Boros, not only is the translation really up for debate on this data book, but if you look at the Japanese kanji for one of those guidebooks Cell brought up, you'd actually know you can make the same argument about Vegeta.
Oh no, not the character files. My man brought up the character files. Actually, that's actually really funny. He mentions that. That is like a higher end argument that you could use for Vegeta, which I find very funny.
Yeah, the kanji here could be translated as either star or planet, just like with Boros. It's basically the exact same terms being used. And Vegeta does have feats to actually back this up, like casually blowing up Arlia with 2 fingers, which, like I said before, has been calced to small star level. And if you want to say Boros is a star buster, you would pretty much have to give the same benefit to Vegeta here as well. And, well, if you think the Arlia feat doesn't count because it's anime only, the guide that says Boros is a star buster is an anime only guide.
Yup, that's
tough. Yeah.
If you're gonna say we can't use anime for Dragon Ball, then we can't use it for One Punch Man either, which, like we already said, makes Boros a Krillin victim. And anime versus anime could go either way depending on how you view the star level scaling for each character. But at best, it's a star level Boros with his maxed out last resort attack versus a slightly above star level Kaioken times 4 Goku. Even if Boros survived a beam struggle, Goku just has better skill, better hacks, and better endurance.
Which he probably wouldn't survive the beam struggle. I just want to mention that.
The closest match is if you lowball Goku to only planetary and give Boros his anime only planet level statements. And like we said, that's still probably a win for Goku due to skill.
Now, you may notice that we didn't really mention speed a whole lot, because yeah, it really makes things even more unfair. While Boros and Goku are usually in the same range of speed, Goku consistently has edged him
Goku, based on the evidence, is just consistently faster than Boros, which is tough.
He reaches the dozens of times light speed range, at least with Kaioken, whereas Boros only scales above roughly 9 times light speed Flashy Flash. The only way to really say Boros is faster is by using the most insanely high-ball calculations and scaling him to peak Monster Garo. Which, even then, he wouldn't be that much faster than Goku, and the huge power gap would still be present.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, Goku just consistently has...
But yeah, as you guys can see, very, very simple shit. Now, the next video I want to do. This is a video from Chuck the Cybercuck that I found. Right here. It's one of his newer videos.
The tournament of
It's a very long video, though. That's the issue. It's a very long video. It's basically how would, like, Marvel's heavy hitters, I think, do against the Tournament of Power, which is like a wow. So, we're not going to watch this. There's one more video I want to watch before that one. Could Garo hunt the 7 from The Boys?
I was binge watching.
Like, could Garo hunt 7? You know, I like One Punch Man scaling. I'm trying to get into, what is it called? And The Boy scaling. There we go. My brain shut off. But yeah. This is also by Professor Fiction. Very good power scaler. How many videos are you doing? Probably 2 or 3. Because this is the next one, and then we've got one more after this, which is a fairly long one. You know?
The Boys the other day. A show about a corrupt superhero society, a sketchy organization and their shady activities, heroes who impose their will on others and operate as celebrities, and a vigilante intent on taking them down.
Yep.
I don't know how I didn't think of this.
Is this Future Gohan's theme? It's either Future Gohan's theme or yeah, this Future Gohan's theme he's using.
Any sooner before my friend brought it up to me. But wouldn't it be interesting if Garo the Hero Hunter, a vigilante who hates heroes for imposing their will on others and work with a corrupt, shady organization, existed in this world?
So here's the thing, right? I'm fairly confident Garo's gonna win this, because the boy scaling is actually like kind of bad. But we'll see.
Yeah, kind of funny how well that lines up. But yeah, today we'll be talking about whether or not Garo could beat or hunt the 7, Bot's crown hero team. A friend did legitimately pitch this to me and I thought it would be fun. We'll be using human Garo and the TV version of the 7. We're also going to throw Translucent in there even though he died early in Season 1. With that in mind, let's start with a rundown of the 7. Hey guys, another classic Professor Fiction interjection.
Oh.
You guys see that little number down there? Well, we're getting...
Okay, so this is him doing his ad read. Respectfully, brother. We got places to be.
Big surprise.
Not ad read, but as
the soups.
Subscribe. We'll see when we get there. Oh no. He's way faster, way stronger? Yeah, obviously. But this video does make sense.
Of the boys are generally superhuman. Big surprise. A well-known trait of the soups of the boys universe is being bulletproof, regardless of what their unique power is. Starlight at one point gets shot by a 50 caliber rifle and is simply knocked on the ground. And Maeve can no-sell machine gun fire.
Yep.
Speaking of Maeve, in the first scene of the show,
most of the soups in the boys are actually fairly bulletproof. Which is funny.
A speeding armored truck. These trucks can weigh up to 25,000 pounds, and assuming it was speeding at a pretty reasonable 50 miles per hour, which, considering it was outpacing police cruisers, seems like an understatement. The truck would be generating 2.8 million joules of energy. This is around enough to destroy a small building, and Maeve stops this with just her body and no damage. Translucent also gets hit by a car and is fine. When Homelander gives Compound B to several criminal cells around the world...
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. A lot of people don't understand. Soups, even if they don't have super strength and stuff, they should have super strength because of the fact that they're able to, at bare minimum, endure these crazy things.
Creates super villains, as he likes to call them.
Not super strength, super durability. My apologies.
Claims that weapons like the M1 tanks and Tomahawk missiles have just become irrelevant. M1 Abrams shells have an explosive yield of around 20 million joules, and Tomahawk missiles can carry a half-ton warhead capable of destroying buildings as well. Black Noir fights one of these supervillains, Nahib, who generates an explosion which was calculated at over 400 million joules, or about a tenth of a ton of TNT. Noir not only tanks this, but also kills Nahib right after. Congress debates declaring soups as weapons of mass destruction, and it's generally believed only a soup can take down another soup. Homelander is on another level, and is considered to be the strongest superhero. The same Black Noir we mentioned earlier literally gets his guts ripped out and one-shot by Homelander. Stillwell tells Butcher that there's no weapon on Earth that could kill him, potentially including nukes as strong as the SAR bomb.
I don't know. Okay, here, I'll let him cook for a minute. I'll explain in a minute. I'll let him cook.
Which has an explosive yield of 50 megatons of TNT. This is supported by the fact that the Russians also couldn't figure out how to kill Soldier Boy after decades of having him locked up and experimenting on him. Soldier Boy is only almost as strong as Homelander, and Homelander can dominate him in a fistfight. As for speed, A-Train is the fastest man alive and is stated capable of moving at speeds around 1,000 miles per hour, which would be Mach 1.3, aka 1.3 times the speed of sound. This may be boasting or hype, however, as when A-Train amps himself with Compound V to race Shockwave, he runs at a top speed of 371 meters per second, or Mach 1.08.
I feel like he's going to bring up the light speed stuff for A-Train. I don't 100% agree with it myself. You get to see in the background of previous footage that he was able to stop and kind of not necessarily dodge that girl's light-based attacks. I forget her name. Bruh. He's outlaying the time right there. What the fuck is speed scaling? Who knows?
Which the announcer calls a world record, implying the 1,000 mile per hour statement isn't recorded.
Right.
Homelander claims he could break the sound barrier as a child.
The boy scaling. So I'll quickly explain why I don't agree with the Zarbamba scaling. That's because we seen like animated content for the Boys TV show, which is, I believe, canon to the show. There are a couple feats of Homelander enduring like building and multi-building level explosions, and these almost killing him. So that's why I am that's why I don't 100% agree with the nuke scaling. The way you could argue is like they just wouldn't hit him, you know. So that's why you could potentially argue against the nuke scaling.
Searching for translucent flies at speeds over Mach 1.5.
Yep.
At one point, Homelander saves Billy Butcher from an explosion at nearly point-blank range, to the point Butcher isn't even scratched, which requires speeds of around a Mach 4.5. Some may argue that things such as Starlight's blasts or Homelander's laser vision being light speed using the audio description of the series. I don't really think this works, as A-Train could make Starlight's attacks seem slow by comparison, and he needed to be amped just to barely surpass the speed of sound, let alone when he's on the verge of a heart attack.
The way you could potentially argue against that, the home is younger though, so who knows power levels, even if it is canon. That is true. He is younger. That is, I will give you that. So he could have gotten stronger through age. We don't know. But when it comes to A-Train here, you might be able to argue that maybe this combat speed and travels, he might just be faster than his travel speed. Who knows?
It is an argument you can make, but it does seem pretty contradicted by the more down-to-earth nature of the series, with the speed of sound being somewhat of a benchmark or impressive feat. Even in his early
here
days,
we go, the Hero Hunter. He also has a jaw jammed in his ear, and it made him bleed if a nuke doesn't affect him. But that does, I don't know what's going on with his body. Homelander seems afraid of aging, but is also less confident in diabolical, so 50-50. Yeah, that's true.
Garo is extremely impressive. Garo hunts many heroes that are considered superhuman, such as Stinger, the A-class hero that Garo can pummel even when weakened, is stated to be even stronger than a grizzly bear, and Moomin Rider, who is self-admittedly too weak for B-class, can outbox a monster who tanked gunfire from the...
Oh yeah, I forgot that Moomin Rider did this. A monster who literally tanked gunfire, he was able to outbox. I forgot about this. Moomin Rider's kind of goated.
Police. Garo can then literally slam Moomin Rider onto the curb and KO him pretty much instantly. An early series character, Hammerhead, acquires a battlesuit capable of some pretty insane feats. With it, Tina's goons can take out the aforementioned Moomin Rider.
Garo said, of course he's such a cool character. He's awesome.
Send armored cars flying that weigh up to 28,000 pounds. And at one point, one of his underlings punches away a skyscraper, which has been calculated between...
Motherfucker's about to start using more Combat Homelander for scaling. I mean, you know what, Dotbat? Composite Homelander goes crazy.
224 and 766 tons of
Composite
TNT.
Homelander goes crazy.
Or roughly comparable to 900 billion joules of energy. This feat is also consistent with Hammerhead launching boulders like artillery, which has also been calculated at 261 tons of TNT. Sonic faces Hammerhead, but later after seeing the hero...
Is he gonna lowball Garo and highball, pseudo-highball, the boys? That'd be really funny if he is.
For a prisoner in action, claims that prisoner is even stronger than Hammerhead with his sweater still on. The thing about Prisoner's sweater is it is blown off of his body when he powers up to 50%, which means that full power Prisoner would be over twice as strong as Hammerhead and could exert between 448 and 1,500 tons of TNT at the very least.
Right.
Prisoner then gets totally annihilated by the Deep Sea King. Meanwhile, Genos...
a dehydrated Supreme Deep Sea King, I might argue.
Can compete with the Sea King in hand-to-hand combat, and then after Genos gets upgraded even more, Garo can swap hands with him. This would easily put Garo
and that's a weakened Garo, by the way.
448 to 1,500 tons of TNT range at the very bare minimum. You could also scale him to an early series Genos, who destroys the top of a mountain, which has been consistently calculated to being between a few thousand tons of TNT and a few million.
Yeah, that's a big gap in strength. That's crazy. Why are you scaling anime characters to these Amazon TV characters?
Tons of TNT. There's a ton of calculations of this feat. Like, literally a ton of them. And I'm no calc god or anything. So just keep in mind, it on average comes out to a few 100,000 tons of TNT or a few 100 kilotons. Yeah. Seeking can tank this exploding directly in his face, yet Genos later can beat a simulated version of Seeking, and this is before Genos fights Garo, meaning Garo would scale to it. Tank Top Master is also compared to the upgraded Genos post the Seeking simulation fight, and Garo left him hospitalized.
Yeah, Garo does Garo things.
Can also tank his own incineration cannon deflected back onto him by Carnage Kabuto. Yet both weakened Garo and dry Seeking can rip Genos' arms off. It is incredibly consistent for Garo to be over this feat from Genos' weakest.
Yo, this is mean. Yo, this is mean, bro. Why you gotta do Homelander like this? Bro, this is so mean. This is so mean. What the fuck?
Form, though, if for whatever reason you still disagree, there's still that hammerhead scaling I outlined earlier. As for speed, Genos early in season 2 pretty blatantly dodges light beams.
Oh yeah, I mentioned this back in the Boros video. I mentioned this.
While this isn't exactly light speed for Genos, he'd still scale to a reasonable percentage of it. Garo also competes with Genos after receiving numerous upgrades after dodging this light.
And again, what he's not mentioning, this was a weakened Garo. This was a substantially weakened Garo.
Light is roughly equivalent to 300 million meters per second, or Mach 800,000.
That is, you know.
The whole light thing is a pretty big debate within the One Punch Man fandom, so I'll go over some other interpretations if you disagree with the light speed scaling. Ion is explicitly stated able to outspeed bullets and cuts them at speeds upwards of Mach 41. Right. Spring Mustachio is able to move relative to Ion against Homeless Emperor, but Garo only sees him as a decent opponent and can react to his thrusts and cuts.
Yep.
Garo, while heavily weakened, can also react to and deflect Death Gatling's Death Shower, which has been calculated at being a Mach 48. Yep. Shortly after this,
Evil Superman archetypes, Boy Scout Soups his goat. So let's keep doing Homelander like this, right? Let's keep doing. No. Now here's the thing. Outset Island. I also hate the Evil Superman archetype, only because of the fact it's so overdone. It's so overdone.
This Garo also reacts to and dodges Genos' incineration cannons, which have been calculated at Mach 155.
Damn, even if you don't take light speed, he still has feats that put him above Homelander. That's crazy.
Now that we've gone over the stats, it seems that pretty much none of the 7, aside from Homelander, really stand a chance here.
Even Homelander doesn't stand a chance. What do you want about?
The best calculable feat we have is Black Noir tanking an explosion, which is only a 1/10 of TNT.
Right.
Even Hammerhead chucking boulders is over 2,000 times more impressive than that. And Garo would annihilate Hammerhead. Yep. Homelander is more of an issue if you take his statement of being able to withstand any man-made weapon to the extreme and say he scales to well over 50 megatons of TNT. While that's a bit higher than a couple 100 kilotons, that doesn't quite mean that Homelander is invincible. Yep. This is due to the massive speed gap between the two. Homelander's best speed feat is Mach 4.5. The lowest speed feat we mentioned for Garo is at least Mach 41.
Yeah, that is not quite a 10 times difference, but that's like multiple times of a difference. That is a very massive speed disadvantage.
This means best case for Homelander, Garo is still 9 times faster than Homelander and every member of the 7. Yep. Even granting both sides light speed scaling, which is probably more likely in the case of One Punch Man, almost nobody actually scales to Homelander's laser eyes or Starlight's blasts, and they blitz almost everybody that they interact with. Garo being a much—
even blitzing Homelander himself? That's crazy. That's funny. Even Homelander got blitzed by I-beams. That's crazy.
much faster than the Genos who dodged light, would probably be able to dodge these attacks, if not straight up being faster than them. Add on to the fact that Garo has super adapting martial arts that predict your next move before you make it.
True.
Homelander probably isn't hitting Garo. He's not totally insignificant compared to Homelander and would be able to damage him over time. Garo is also an expert martial artist with access to the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist and several other martial arts from his dojo crushing and hero hunting. He has a super learning ability that lets him learn and adapt in the middle of combat.
That is true.
Most of the 7 in comparison have questionable combat skills or experience, with the exception of Black Noir and Maeve, with Maeve in particular being able to use her combat skill to contend with Homelander. Stamina also leans in Garo's favor. Since characters in The Boys don't seem to have any exceptional stamina feats, Garo, while sick, injured, and sleep deprived, can fight numerous heroes, then continue to fight against Genos, Bang, and Bomb, despite poison and further wounds. Even a
I'm surprised people haven't done Brightburn versus Homelander. Funny enough, I think Homelander loses that fight. the kid from Brightburn, I think Homelander might lose that fight, honestly.
Down from Bang and Bomb couldn't fully incapacitate Garo, despite being stronger than him and him already being near out of stamina. Even if Homelander were to fly in the air and spam his laser vision, which he's never done in character, Garo should be much stronger than Hammerhead, as we said earlier, and Hammerhead can launch boulders to the top of skyscrapers, and Tank Top
Stain
Master
versus the 7? Maybe. It depends on how fast you believe they are. Stain might work, actually.
Perform similar feats. Homelander is more likely to exchange in hand-to-hand combat, or in close quarters, or in close enough range that Garo could close the gap with speed. Translucent's invincibility wouldn't let him sneak up on Garo, seeing as Garo can react to things he can't see and has the ability to sense killing intent. Garo senses Death Galling's killing intent from a totally different room, let alone some invisible dude right next to him. The same applies to if Starlight were to ever blind Garo, not that she ever could due to the speed gap. In conclusion, while Homelander is much stronger, Garo is faster, more skilled, has more stamina, and overall should have the capability to take out Homelander and the other members of the 7 with relatively no difficulty. Homelander is more like a wall he'd have to overcome, but isn't nearly fast enough to even compete with Garo, and Garo would ultimately win the battle of attrition. I guess if Billy Butcher really wanted to take down Homelander, he should have just learned karate.
That's crazy. Could never be me. Anyways. Is YouTube acting up for you, Supreme? I apologize about that, brother. I don't know what's happening. YouTube is deciding to be, YouTube. All right. The video.
The tournament of power in Dragon Ball
is
Super was by far one of the most intense arcs.
A long one, but also, let's see, because it's Marvel.
Shown in history, and for good reason, as Son Goku, Vegeta, Son Gohan, and the other members of Universe 7 had to duke it out with 7 other universes for the very survival of.
I want to ask if you can see my latest Sonic. I made it in shorts. Let me quickly see. Go to channel. So I'm on my other tab that I have the stream up on. We can't check it out. We can't check it out now, but either next stream, probably, because this is probably gonna be the last video I'm gonna do this stream, only because I've got stuff to do today. But I still wanted to stream a bit.
of their cosmos. But what if Zeno-sama decided to host a second tournament of power and brought in new competitors to the fray from the massive world of Marvel Comics?
So which Marvel are we using? That's the question. Which comic? Which continuity?
Goku's Ultra Instinct, Vegeta's
because it really depends.
Fission, Gohan's insane potential, and Frieza's devilish nature be enough to take them down, or would
Doesn't
they fall
even mention Frieza Black. That's crazy.
to these new contenders? In this video, we will be using the main 616 versions of 10 characters from the comics, and give Goku an overpowered team as he would be joined by Ultra Ego Vegeta, Beast Gohan, Black Frieza, the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, Majin Buu, Orange Piccolo, Granola, and the limitless androids 17 and 18.
I would say actually using Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 might be better here. Oh wait, no. One of them is actually dead, isn't they? That's true.
With me today to discuss this is my homie Dr. Goon. So say what's up, G.
What's going on, everybody?
Dr. Goon, what a name. That's a name right there.
It's your boy, Dr. Goon. Shout out to Goon Nation if you haven't seen my channel. Check it out. I talk about Chuck all the time on there. And yeah, I'm excited to do this, mostly known for my comic stuff. I like to touch Dragon Ball every now and then. I think me and Chuck, one of the first things we ever talked about when we became friends was this topic, because it was a really dope video back in the day, so it's cool to spin the block and do it again. So I'm very excited for this.
So here's my prediction, right? Marvel is going to absolutely crush Dragon Ball. Also, yes, the Gammas would be above Android 1718. That is correct, Supreme. They're just blatantly above Android 1718. Just very blatantly.
Well, to start off our list, we're going to go with Big Boy Ben Grimm, the Thing from the Fantastic Four, who I think is a character that a lot of people underestimate. I certainly underestimated him a lot until I was enlightened by Mr. Goons over here. So, like, he has been able to fight against Silver Surfer and knocked him out. He's been able to fight against Doctor Doom. He's beaten him with and without the Power Cosmic. And he's even fought against the Hulk before.
That's crazy.
And they're actually pretty roughly equal for the most part. But what's the other crazy that he's done?
Yeah, before I get into that, I just want to let everyone know we are assuming, for narrative's sake, that Marvel's
Iron Fist gets some really wet. Yo, he's got Iron Fisted here? That's crazy.
To partake in this tournament, because there's a couple characters we're going to name that probably wouldn't put up with Xeno's
right?
If it really came down to it. But we're assuming, for whatever reason, whether or not someone from Marvel also forces their tournament, they fully are compliant with the rules to the best of their abilities. But getting into Ben's things, Ben's always been one of the greatest powerhouses in Marvel because he's a part of the team for Marvel in the Fantastic Four that explores the cosmology. He's the one sent to the dangerous realms and dimensions, so obviously he has to be tough enough as the strongest in the group to survive that.
Dragon Ball's gonna lose because that's how it usually goes. Yeah, when it comes to like comic book characters like Marvel and DC, Dragon Ball has nothing on these verses.
Like he mentioned, he's historically gone toe-to-toe with Hulk, even fought some of his strongest forms and lived to tell the tale, like Worldbreaker. On top of this, he has fought the likes of Terrax, another cosmic-fueled being. He has fought Surfer, both feral and non-feral states, bloodlusted and civil. Regardless, he's gone toe-to-toe with him. He has taken on the likes of extra-dimensional monsters. He fought a cosmic being who was shown to be capable of killing celestial beings like Eternity. These are abstracts beyond time, space, and dimensions.
Okay, then yeah, the Thing just completely like what? Why are we talking about this?
Yet he went toe-to-toe with this being itself and was not worried at all. Champion of the Universe considers him the most willful and the best representation of the fighters of Earth. He took on a destroyer armor typically fueled by the Odin Force, but he took on one powered and puppeted by Galactus himself. And he was also one of the first ones to knock over Galactus in comics on panel, as well as traditionally he's hung out with the likes of Doctor Strange and taken on the extra dimensional monsters that Strange faces. So in terms of powers, he's pretty simple. He has extreme physical prowess due to
that's pretty strong.
being hit with cosmic rays. These cosmic rays, by the way, were confirmed to be the same kind of power that it affects the likes of Silver Surfer.
Right.
So it kind of explains why the Fantastic Four can range so greatly in power. But his durability, strength, he's gone toe-to-toe with likes of Hulk, Namor, and beings of that level. He physically can hang with pretty much anyone.
Gotta admit, that's actually really, really strong. Holy shit. Okay. I underestimated the Thing.
As well as he's trained with the Avengers, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, who has countless arrays of trainings, and this has allowed him to become quite a formidable brawler type. So even skill-wise, he's a lot better than most people think, and I definitely think he's a sleeper cell going into this tournament. He's very dangerous.
Yeah, and to further back up that he is like right up there with like Hulk and Thor tiers, Hyperion, when he fought the Thing, he straight up said that he punches as hard as Thor, so... We've seen Thor being able to like dish out like casual multi-solar system, galactic, universal, multiversal levels of power, even higher. So like the Thing can definitely like reach those levels of power at its peak for sure. Next up on the list is someone that I think is gonna be really underrated, and I think that is Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
Which Spider-Man are we using?
Oh yeah, for the most part
oh no, I muted it.
It's like
we'll be using Peak, Base, and Symbiote Spider-Man.
Fodder like the Rhino or. The Vulture.
The Thing, Loki solos? Yeah, true, honestly.
When Peter Parker is, like, not holding back, when he goes fully in, he can do a lot of crazy stuff, and he's done this consistently, actually. So, for example, he's actually kept up with the suppressed Silver Surfer. He's even taken hits from him, even when he said he wasn't holding back. Even crazier still, he's also kept up with Gladiator. He even said he was as strong as him, and Gladiator has kept up with Silver Surfer and level characters and stuff like that.
That's kind of funny to think about. Okay.
He's fought against Firelord. He actually beat the hell out of him, and Firelord has fought against the likes of Thor and Phoenix, Jean Grey. And as we mentioned earlier with the Thing, he's really damn strong in his zone. But to make it even crazier still, Spider-Man, while like pretty much going like balls to the wall, he was able to actually hurt Angrier, who was an Amp Thing. And to make it even crazier, alongside Captain America, he was able to defeat the Hulk. I don't know how the hell they did it, but they
defeated the Hulk. Well, damn. GG easy. See it like this isn't consistent for Spider-Man? Cool. If beyond Spider-Man, the whole WWE Universe comp are getting cooked. So here's the thing, right? I don't agree with this being consistent for Spider-Man, but Spider-Man does not do this well normally, I don't think. Who knows?
And he even finessed the hell out of the
Also, real quick, I want to say, Outside Islands, this is Chuck the Cybercuck. He's the same person who tried to say Goku was immeasurable speed. So why are you surprised?
Been pretty cleanly, even without even trying to hurt them. So he can clearly deal with Herald level characters and higher if he really needs to. Spider-Man's webs can hold back the Thing, who is pretty damn strong. I think that his webs could certainly be trouble for suppressed versions of our heroes, and could certainly hold back Buu Saga tiers, possibly higher, in the tournament.
I definitely think Spider-Man has fantastic speed and reaction arguments to put him in contention.
Spider-Man hit a Black Flash? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man got that... Spider-Man learned a new curse technique. It's actually really funny. Oh, so sorry. Sorry, I had to send a text to somebody real quick. All right, we're back.
This level of power. He's avoided the X-Men and the Avengers.
Yup.
He's kept up with Heralds, like Chuck said. He's also fought beings like Joe Fixit, who, albeit it's not the strongest version of Hulk, is strong. Kept up with Grey Hulk as well. Able to dodge extra-dimensional beings that were the army of an Elder God. Spider-Man
is jumping across verse. Yeah, true.
It's always been pretty quick. Like Superior Spider-Man outraced the Avengers, basically kept them off his ass once they were trying to take him in. He's pretty damn fast. He's kept up with Ben Grimm as well, who we already spoke on. Why?
Nah, Spider-Man's just him.
He can go toe-to-toe with most. So I think his speed is more reliable in these conditions than his actual attack potency. But definitely think he's quick enough to keep up with pretty much everyone, at least for a short amount of time.
No,
yeah,
he's
to
just
further
him.
back up that he can keep up with like faster than light and massively faster than light characters, he was able to keep up with Captain Marvel as well, and Captain Marvel is comparable to other Herald like characters who can travel across galaxies and like mere moments. He's also dodged attacks from Lightmaster, who can literally fire like lasers, which would be light speed. And he's also dodged Iron Man's repulsor beams, which are light speed as well. So yeah, he clearly can't keep up with those higher levels of speed. And his webs are actually pretty nasty too, because they have been able to take hits from a mind-controlled Thor. Like,
that's hilarious. Oh, anime master, your message was redacted. Oops. What did you say? Did you try to swear in my chat? Did you try to say a slur in my chat? What are we doing, bro?
While encased in it. He's also been able to block attacks.
Comp 616 for some reason? Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, if you're gonna use Comp 616, use Comp Dragon Ball Goku, okay? That way you can at least get higher end scaling that might have him. I'll be allowed to fight these guys.
From Human Torch, who can literally reach supernova levels
Notice
of temperature.
How they keep using things for the 80s? True. What do you mean Comp 616? A lot of this is like composite 616, I think. Drop bad is what he means.
And much higher, so
I heard some Rhino disrespect. Gotta remind the world he once suplexed Surfer and then hit him with a pinball machine.
Oh my god, Rhino does. Nah, Rhino's fodder. Don't even talk to me about Rhino. Nah, don't even talk to me about Rhino. Don't even talk to me about Rhino.
So just want that to be considered. But yeah, I would see him definitely
don't even
as
talk
a supplementary
don't even talk
piece
to me about Rhino
for this Marvel team. They'd look at him to be quick, distract people,
right,
divert attacks, and maybe surprise people here and there.
Another character that I think is
really
crazy
Iron
in
Fist.
terms of how skillful he is.
Hold on, here we got the Iron Fist. Okay, let's see how he scales.
Iron Fist. I think that
okay. Is the reason why the video's so long is they go in depth with every single person on the damn team?
One of the most well-versed martial artists in Marvel, right up there with Daredevil, Black Panther, Captain America. You could even argue greater than them, honestly. But yeah, it looks like some crazy stuff that he's done.
Yeah, Iron Fist is one of the most, in my opinion, slept-on characters in comics. He actually taps into power from Shao Lao the Undying, one of the few monsters/animal beings, cosmic beings within creation. Shao Lao's up there with Bass, the Panther God, and the likes of Phoenix, so on and so forth.
Is this true? I don't know a lot about Marvel scaling. Outside Islands, you said that they wanked Iron Fist and Wolverine. Is this true? I don't know this. I really want to know if this is true or not. I want to know if this is true.
There's a couple more.
Whoa. The 80s had Daredevil fighting Thor? That's crazy.
He has access to this power, and he actually, in the Battle of the Heavenly Cities arc, he absorbed all the books of the Iron Fist, which is basically verbatim infinite techniques in skillful hand-to-hand combat. He trains in a realm beyond time and space in Kunlun, the Heavenly City. His Iron Fist really doesn't have an upper limit. It's pretty much dictated by both your knowledge of the arts, your control of it, as well as your morals and how much power you want to use. We know the Iron Fist could kill Luke Cage, who can tussle with the likes of Hulk and Ben Grimm.
There ain't no way he put in Luke Cage on Hulk's level. Okay, what is this? What is this? Okay, no way.
And Doctor Doom for $200. Amazing story. He's also capable of knocking back Scar. He's accidentally one-shot Hulk by depowering him completely with his Iron Fist aura, and that's like a byproduct.
Dang.
Which might be an interesting aspect to the battle we'll talk about when we go over. He also can heal people with his chi, perform chi blasts, absorb energy blasts.
This is wild. This is actually wild. Oh, sorry, a light turned on in the back, in the hallway. Damn. Iron Fist is getting some love here. But is this wank? I don't know. Apparently everyone is comparable to Hulk. Right? That's crazy.
Blast even from gods. He's fought in the different layers of hell, and he's fought the best martial artists in the multiverse and in the cities beyond time and space, aka the heavenly cities. He's gone against the likes of Fat Cobra and held his own.
Right.
Fat Cobra admittedly did beat a kind of distractive Iron Fist, but even going toe to toe for some time and later is crazy. Fat Cobra, for instance, absolutely destroyed Fing Fang Foom and took down Merge Sentry. Fing Fang Foom being someone associated with commonly being able to battle Hulk.
Okay. So everyone fights Hulk then. Everyone's able to fight Hulk? Does that mean Hulk's fodder? Does that mean Hulk's fodder? Hulk is fodder then. Nah. You can't tell me otherwise. Hulk is fodder.
So in terms of skill, the capabilities and potential of the Iron Fist, as well as its different chi properties, his knowledge and expertise in unarmed combat, I think Iron Fist is a wild card here in terms of what he
wild card? Bro shouldn't even be here. What is this?
Brings to the table for the Marvel team.
Right, so next up is a character that I think is going to be really annoying for the
Okay, Ghost Rider. Yeah, Ghost Rider actually is like really strong from what I understand. Ghost Rider is Ghost Rider. You don't mess with Ghost Rider.
Team to take care of, and the other contenders as well, and that is Ghost Rider. We will mostly be talking about Johnny Blaze, but since he should be comparable to the other Ghost Riders. But Johnny Blaze has basically been able to like fight against the Avengers. He's also like stated as much of a threat by Doctor Strange that he could potentially have beaten World War Hulk, who was slapping around like pretty much everyone, like Juggernaut and the X-Men, and who eventually fought Sentry.
Yup.
Who literally has a power of millions of exploding suns,
right.
And it's like even actually a low ball.
It's okay, yeah, things like this happen, but is it consistent? Like, genuinely, is it consistent? You put heavy hitters in the fight. Why are we wanking street tiers? Yeah, that is definitely a thing. The thing I could see, right? But Iron Fist and Spider-Man, I don't know.
But like, yeah, these characters.
Yeah,
are this strong, and he can, deal with stuff like that. And he's done even crazier stuff in the current comics as well.
Yeah, we recently saw that Blaze took over as the King of Hell. He essentially took down Mephisto, absolutely bullied Mephisto, felt he was best to lead Hell, but quickly found out Hell is a very complicated place politically. However, we did get some crazy feats in recent time. In going against the likes of Doctor Strange himself straight up said this was a being he can't hold back against.
That's interesting. Okay. Now, is this consistent for Ghost Rider? I think it might be. Is the comics we're talking about consistency is irrelevant? I don't agree with that.
Being Strange had to go all out for, which includes using the power of the Falteens, with all Falteens being the race that Dormammu, the Hell Lord, comes from. So he can casually box on that tier. I think what makes Rider the most annoying is that this is a being that doesn't really care about your hacks. Unless you're at some insane power level, have spiritual / mystic weapons that are OP, you're not really gonna bother him. He's a spirit of vengeance, a former king of hell, who's taken on entire layers of hell by himself. He has his chains, which can bind Hulk tiers pretty easily, even Hell Lords like Mephisto that he literally dragged with them. He also can ignore mystic attacks, energy attacks, binding attacks, can walk through it with the protection of the spirit, as well as his hellfire and hell magic. Overall, Ghost Rider's an absolute tank. Obviously has his penance there, which can cripple you by making you look upon the pain and suffering you cause to others, and it kind of reflects that back on you. These kind of techniques can even drop the likes of Galactus. Although it is worth noting, this technique's not going to work on you if you're a crazy son of a... Like, it didn't work on Punisher. So there is certain personality limits to it.
So, like, this one work on Frieza, because he doesn't regret any of the people he's killed, ever.
overall, Ghost Rider is literally
Hulk
a
mentioned
walking
again.
tank
Yeah.
for this team.
Everyone scales the Hulk. It's crazy.
And an absolute problem for anyone trying to 1v1.
It's not relevant at all in the 80s, which is what they kept using for street tiers, but modern Marvel knows where they want certain character power lives and they're fairly yeah. Yeah, modern Marvel is fairly consistent.
Yeah, and to add on to what you were talking about, like with Dormammu and Mephisto, so these guys are so powerful that when Mephisto would have like fought against Hela, who's basically like another Hell Lord like tier character,
Right.
they can endanger like the whole multiverse as infinite layers. And Dormammu can like battle against Eternity, and the Dark Dimension that he rules is literally so huge that it transcends the infinitely layered universe, the normal 616
Right.
universe. It's also like beyond that in Asgard, and Asgard is already beyond time and space. And the Dark Dimension has infinite universes and dimensions within it. So if Ghost Rider can deal with characters like that, like, it's not looking too good. Alright, so this is a pick that I think is really interesting because people might not really expect this character to do much, but we have Wolverine, Logan, who...
Wolverine! Why is he here? Why is Wolverine here? What is this? What is this? Oh, I just got brought some food. Oh, but what is this? Why is Wolverine here? This is, okay, let's see.
It seemed like that much of a threat at 1st, but with his claws, he's definitely a damn menace, because he has been able to scratch and straight up, like hurt Thor and Hulk.
Really?
And even the Thing before, too. He actually straight up beat the hell out of Grey Hulk one time as well, from what I recall. And the alternate universes as well, he's been able to, like, cut through Thanos' like, hand.
Oh, no. He cut through Thanos' hands. Oh, brother.
And he's also been able to, like, straight up decapitate Maestro Hulk, who's basically like an Elder Hulk. So his claws can definitely, like, do some work, you know?
Wolverine is
yeah, he's adding people like Wolverine to this tournament of power. Welcome back, Tom Supreme.
and I kind of got to bring this up so no one comments about it. I did have one time a scaling terrorist spree where I would take Wolverine and go bully people that repped Goku. That's more so just a testament to how crazy his resume is. On Tuesday, he might get knocked.
He doesn't seem like a threat at first. If any of Z fighters hit him, he's flying across the room. Maybe.
Out by a deer. On Thursday, he might knock out a god. Like, that's how Wolverine happens to be everywhere. But I think something that's important to note is skill-wise, hunting-wise, and savagery-wise as a predator, Wolverine's pretty much unmatched. Kraven the Hunter, who has literally hunted every animal and being on Earth, even hunted in Asgard and has dealt with like gods of hunting and like that. He acknowledges Wolverine is the GOAT. Wolverine can easily keep up with Captain America in skill, even land cripple.
I'm pretty sure everyone scales each other in Marvel. Who knows? It's Marvel. What do you expect? Like, even in DC, base form Batman is knocked out of Darkseid, so.
Crippling attacks on him. He considers beating up Spider-Man not a feat. He considers Spider-Man basically a child compared to him, which, to be fair, Peter Parker is often young. Yeah. But regardless, he's been around for hundreds of years. He's very strong on both the Avengers and the X-Men and other teams. He actually beat Iron Fist in sparring. He took down Wendigo when he was in his Berserker mode. Wendigo being able to go back and forth with Hulk.
Hulk back again. Yo. Like, does everyone scale to Hulk? What is this?
Several occasions. He can take down Omega Red, who is capable of taking down the rest of the X-Men. He's been shown famously.
Okay, why does the X-Men matter here? Are you going to give him feats?
And Old Man Logan to be able to take out basically all the X-Men if he thinks they're his enemies. With his adamantium claws, he's capable of cutting pretty much anyone here. On top of that, it coats his skeleton, and it's allowed him to withstand attacks from beings like Nimrod, who's capable of taking down Apocalypse. So, yeah, in terms of
Apocalypse, oh good. Yeah, might as well just have a team full of Hulks. Holy crap.
Skill and attack potency via the cutting power of the claws. Wolverine's hit or miss. but if he hits, it's gonna be a problem for Team Dragon Ball.
And another fellow X-Man, or X-Woman in this case, is Storm.
Why is Storm here? What is this? What is this? Nah, we get it. I'm half tempted. You know what? Let's just get to the Dragon Ball section so I can actually, like, you know, give you guys some fucking insight. Because, bro, that's like 30 minutes of just Marvel glazing. That is 30 whole minutes of Marvel glazing. We are not sitting through all that. Y'all don't want to sit here for 30 minutes to listen to these guys glaze Marvel, you know? Y'all are not interested in hearing that, you know? So, let's just... No, we're not at 7 yet. We were not at 7. Nowhere near it. So, we're just going to go over... We're going to skip to the Dragon Ball part, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah. So, yeah, we're not trying that.
The editorial team at Marvel says Doom can't really lose because he's just that guy. So if just
no, am I hearing no limits fallacies? Am I hearing no limits fallacies for Doctor Doom? That's crazy.
Guy was a living incarnation in comics, it's Doctor Doom.
Okay, so now when we're analyzing the side of Dragon Ball, what can they bring to the table?
Great glazing Batman? Exactly.
In this case, we know that...
Okay, even suppressed Sengoku can threaten to destroy the universe 7 macrocosm, which is composed of multiple infinite realms. Okay.
They can at least reach multiversal levels going in the canon like lore within Super. You can argue...
Whoa, does he think multiversal is just destroying infinite... a couple infinite realms? That's not necessarily how multiversal is achieved. Whoa, wait a minute. Chuck, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Multiversal and even hyperversal levels.
Hyperversal! Goku defends fight beings that are outside several of the main Dragon Ball world. Yo, and even arcade machine. Yo, they're using Dragon Ball Heroes? Yo, they're using Heroes? Since when? What is this? They're using Heroes? Yo, they're using Heroes. Okay, this should about to get interesting.
Within the games, depending on how you view the whole reality to fiction transcendence that we have seen in Xenoverse and Heroes. You could even
they're using Xenoverse and Heroes. This shit about to get wild. This is about to get really wild.
Like Outerversal going off like a...
Whoa. Did he just say Outerversal?
That we have seen in Xenoverse and Heroes. You could even argue like Outerversal going off like a Rayleigh scaling meta that, you know, she can theoretically like transcend her own narrative loop infinitely.
That's not how that works. Nah, that's wild. You know what? You could never catch me this down bad. Well, not down bad. This like a brain dead. What is this? What is it? Oh, really? Outerversal. Okay, that's wild. Okay, bro, what is this?
So
you could argue destroying the macrocosm already 5D plus feet due to the afterlife being transcending dimensions. Maybe. Maybe you could argue it's 5D. I think 4D is a little more consistent, but 5D maybe. But yikes! This is real. This is real dumbassery. But how do people scale it? No, yeah. Tom Supreme, welcome to my world. This is what I've had to listen to for years. It's actually wild. Power scaling community can get like brain dead.
Most consistent range is multiversal for like the canon as a complex multiversal for the games. I personally don't really agree with the outerversal meta, but
okay, he saved it a little bit. He saved it. Okay, he saved it. He doesn't agree with it. He saved it.
If we are using it, how would this exactly change the matchup? And like, before we get into like specific matchups, what do you think is like the general consensus on like scaling them side to side.
I think Marvel definitely has a lot more nuance to its scaling, a lot more.
Okay. Whoa. That's all you're giving for the Dragon Ball scale? Bro, the Marvel glazing was 30 minutes. And now you're only giving, like, what? A couple minutes for Dragon Ball? What is this? Yo, what is this?
More credibility in terms of dozens upon dozens of feats and sources to place the cosmology at different outer versal tiers if we're going by classic power scaling jargon.
Could you give examples of that?
Yeah, sure. So we know hell, for example, is beyond all time, space, and dimensions. It's abstract in nature.
So, this glazing is actually wild. And never in my life have I seen glazing quite like this. This glazing is actually really funny. This glazing might be a little too much for me. I don't know. This is a lot of, Bro needs to take a breath, if y'all know what I mean. So for multiversal, the requirement is being able to destroy, 4D spaces. For universes with a 4D space. Yes. Or timelines if you really want to get into it. But again, you could argue the afterlife is like 4D, potentially. 5D if you really, really want to take things to, if you really want to push the boundaries. But, no, they do not scale to outer in any capacity. No. No. Whoever says that is actually brain rot.
We've seen in classic Marvel, which does not scale to current Marvel, we've seen that because Doctor Strange has literally brought back from old comics the versions of himself from the classic era. These eras had realms beyond dreams, they had realms beyond abstract imagination, time, mathematics. You previously had mentioned the Dark Dimension, which is said to be beyond logic, duality.
Oh no, not this bullshit. Ugh. I hate this. Nah. So we're stopping the video here because this is just brain dead. This is actually crazy. But yeah. That's it for the stream because I've got some stuff I need to take care of. I wanted to stream for a bit. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for coming out to the stream. If you did enjoy it, please make sure, obviously, to subscribe. Check out, I want to try to do streams more often.